Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in this episode of The Hypnotist, you're going to be listening to a hypnosis session that was created for a therapist that had studied with a very well-known hypnosis trainer, very well known in the world of hypnosis, but as a result of that training, made an evaluation that she had to be at a level that she didn't feel that she was currently. And that was putting her under a bit of pressure and feeling that she didn't have the resources to meet the standard required to be doing it right. So what you're going to be listening to in this hypnosis session is an element of various metaphors and suggestions that the way to get good at something is to have fun learning it and to take the pressure off and to refute the idea that there is only one way of doing something. I'm a hypnotherapist. I know lots of other hypnotherapists. It would be very arrogant and entitled of me to say the way that I do hypnosis is the only way or the right way of doing hypnosis. And in the hypnosis session, you'll hear a metaphor and analogy of how ludicrous it would be that if someone spoke in a particular accent, for them to insist that that's the only correct accent is absurd. Because so long as people can understand what you're saying and you can communicate effectively, the accent is immaterial. So there's various things going on in this session, but also an element of regression to the point where she started to create this belief system of such a high level that she might not be able to attain it, and to replace that with a more useful strategy and then future pacing, where she could see herself with resources unlocked and enjoying the process of being a hypnotherapist that is competent, intuitive, but actually aligned with this level of enthusiasm and playfulness. This hypnosis session, although it would definitely be helpful, I think, for any hypnotherapist listening, and I know there's quite a few hypnotherapists that listen to the show that would benefit from feeling that they would be more confident or enthusiastic to do more hypnosis. I think it would also be helpful for anyone that is reluctant to do something, maybe a sport or learning something new, because they feel that they aren't good enough. And I would encourage you to hold one area of your life in mind, an area that you would like to do more but don't feel that you're capable. And think of that while you're listening to this hypnosis session so you can take the pressure off yourself and just enjoy doing that thing, irrespective of how well you feel like you need to do it. So find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe in a resourceful feeling of relaxation. And as you exhale, just allow those eyelids to close, noticing a feeling of relaxation start from your eyelids all the way down your body, down to your toes, and feeling that tension is leaving your body in your outward breath. As you breathe in and breathe out, accept the idea that you're breathing in a wonderful feeling of resourcefulness. And as you exhale, anything unresourceful is leaving your body. As you breathe in and breathe out, you start to notice clues of tension. Maybe in your jaw, in your forehead, neck or shoulders. So as you breathe in and breathe out, give permission to let go of that tension, enabling you to feel deeper and deeper relaxed just by breathing in and breathing out. That's right. I want you to use the power of your imagination to think back to a time in your life when you were playful, a time in your life when you were learning something just for fun. Maybe it was a game, a sport. There was an enthusiasm, a joy. I want you to imagine going back and seeing that version of you, smiling, playful, completely captivated by that new thing that you're doing or learning. You're there, but the younger version of you doesn't know you're there. You're just watching. And I want you to see how effortlessly it can be to learn. It doesn't matter if it was a board game, a physical sport, or maybe just new knowledge that you were fascinated by. You just get a sense that that wonderful cocktail of enthusiasm, intrigue, and playfulness enabled you to learn very quickly. And you learned at your best when mistakes were just opportunities to learn even quicker. I want you to think back to maybe an earliest memory. Maybe you can even remember being taught to read or taught to walk. But nobody said there is only one way of reading. And nobody said there was only one way of walking. There was just this growing sense that the more you do it, the better you'll get. And everyone expects a baby to fall many times before they find their balance, find their confidence, until it reaches a point where walking requires no thought or effort at all. And when you were reading, there wasn't a right way to read, but you found some material that you were enthusiastic to learn about. Maybe a story. I want you to remember the first book that you read that you were so immersed in, where you forgot to even turn the pages. It was just happening all by itself, and you teleported yourself into a wonderful world where you were in that universe, experiencing the story as if you were in the story. Reading just happened because your focus was on the characters. And then I want you to go to a time where you were being taught hypnosis by a very respected, well-regarded teacher. But I want you to see that version of you as you were in that room being taught. maybe there was a sense of excitement, maybe a sense of awe or regard. But I want you to get a sense that at some point you were given information that led you to believe there was a right way and a wrong way. And sometimes when people get to a certain level, they assume that their way is the right way and anything else is somehow inferior. But that's as ridiculous as someone saying there is one accent that's the right accent and any other accent somehow isn't as good as the accent that they happen to talk in. So long as someone listening to a voice can understand the meaning and the intention of the words, does it really matter what accent they hear those words in? And I want you to see yourself back there, perhaps creating a belief that you had to do so much to do it right. Remember so many things. Structure it, plan it, holding yourself to such a high standard that in doing so made it less playful, made it less of something you wanted to have fun doing. But knowing what you now know, you can make a new evaluation back then. And perhaps that evaluation is that, of course, a teacher teaching would believe that their way is the right way. And any other teacher would believe that their way is the right way. But from the position of a learner, it's panning for gold. To take the nuggets from one teacher and the nuggets from another teacher, to take what's valuable and assume that everything else just isn't as valuable. I want you to change perspective so you feel like you're back there learning from this person with the perspective that you want to take what's valuable and useful for you and reject what isn't. But one of your standards is that it is a prerequisite for you to have fun, be playful, and enjoy doing hypnosis. And if your unconscious is willing and ready to make a new evaluation, to take all the useful stuff and leave everything else behind, let me know by nodding your head. And I want you to feel that a key is turning a lock inside you. You are unlocking resources that were always there, but you weren't accessing because of a belief that you needed to do it a certain way. Feel a vault is opening with wonderful resources that you already utilize in other areas of your career and your life. You don't have to prepare when having a conversation with someone. Your unconscious already knows to talk, and yet your conversations allow yourself to flow, to be engaging and interesting. And you have so many resources that were locked that are now unlocked, and I want you to take those unlocked resources and go forwards in time. Not far off into the future, years, but days or even weeks ahead of where present is for you. And I want you to observe that version of you with these resources unlocked, with your focus firmly on your client, being willing to be playful and experimental, even all by yourself, to have fun, and to treat everything as a feedback loop. That if you do something wonderful and impactful, then that's great. And if there's things that you would rather do differently with the benefit of hindsight, then you've acquired wisdom. So whether you do a great session or an average session, you're still better off than if you did no session at all. But I want you to see the facial expressions of someone enjoying their work, being creative, playful, enthusiastic. And when you see that future version of you in that resourceful state, let me know by nodding your head. And then step into that future version of you. Feel how good it feels to be in the future, having fun, being intuitive, feeling in flow, not having to think of the words, just allowing your unconscious to speak the words for you. And notice that the further you venture outside of your comfort zone, the more challenging it may be, but in doing so, the more prepared you will be for unexpected clients, unexpected situations. Consider venturing out of your comfort zone as training at altitude, so that when you return to sea level, everything feels so much easier. And I want you to think of maybe 2 or 3 things you could do that would represent being playful, but also being adventurous, trying things you wouldn't normally try outside of the comfort zone, just to give you the ability to practice skills that you don't even realize you have yet. There are certain things you learn only by doing. Nobody learned to swim by reading a book. And even if you had the best swimmer in the world, you wouldn't learn to swim by hearing them talk in a seminar. Sometimes you just have to dive into the pool, keep swimming until you find your way of doing it. And I want you to take these wonderful feeling of resources and optimism, a feeling of inner confidence that you simply already have what it takes. You just need to refine and polish these within a new context. Feel like you're returning to the present, but taking these updated beliefs and these unlocked resources with you as you accept that this journey in your mind are just thoughts within thoughts, ideas within ideas, dreams within dreams, and you're returning to the present feeling resourceful, optimistic, but also playful to experiment and test and find what's right for you. Counting from 1 to 10 to awaken you. Starting to count 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.